Hey everybody, welcome to What a Week. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you. You know, it just dawned on me, we blew it. We should have done a What a Year show at the end of last year. Too late now.
I think we still would have been recording that show
I
today.
know.
Done a What a
3
Year.
hours, click on us.
Exactly. All right, John, let's jump right in. This has been a wild week.
Yeah.
All this stuff with Iran. Let's talk about the blowback. So we've seen, you know, obviously congressional Democrats up in arms about this. You've seen 2 Republican senators basically angry about the whole situation. Voters, though, what's the backlash the Trump administration is going to face with voters with this, or is there any?
Well, as we're sitting here, there have been 2 serious polls, one by Reuters, one by USA Today, showing the majorities of voters don't approve of the president's handling of the situation in Iraq. That I believe in one poll it was a majority, in another a plurality, less than 50%. But the preponderance of people believe that what we did, taking out this vile terrorist, is going to make us less safe, not more safe. And Chris, I got to tell you, in my 150 years of covering politics, I have never seen a situation like this where we staged a successful military operation against a clearly despicable foe, and the public didn't, at least in the immediate aftermath, rally behind the president. I've never seen anything like it, and I think it speaks to the president's profound credibility problems. When you're telling an average of whatever it is, 100 lies a day, every day for 3 years, guess what happens? Sooner or later, people stop believing a word you're saying. And I think maybe we're seeing the political impact of that right here and now.
So he could be in big trouble, deep trouble, if these kind of trends continue where people just aren't rallying behind him, aren't paying attention, aren't supporting his decisions.
Well, you know, it makes me wonder, what if, God forbid, there should be an attack on the homeland as a result of this whole thing? A terrorist attack, a lone wolf, you name it. Would the public rally behind the president then? Or would there be more backlash against, look what you did? It's definitely a wild card, and it could be a really major factor in the election, I think, depending on what happens.
All right. Speaking of the election, let's talk about on the Democrat side of things. Michael Bloomberg, doing pretty well in a Michigan poll. And, I mean, he's spending millions and millions of dollars on TV ads and whatnot. So do you think that extends beyond Michigan eventually?
Well, guess what? You know, when you spend millions and millions of dollars on TV ads, if they're half-decent ads, you can move poll numbers. And that's what Bloomberg is doing. To a lesser extent, Tom Steyer has done that. But look, here's Bloomberg in a Michigan statewide poll. It's not that he's leading the pack or anything, but they did head-to-heads against Trump. And he was the second biggest winner against Trump of all Democrats behind Joe Biden. Performing especially well among male voters, which has been sort of the core of the Trump support. Women are overwhelmingly anti-Trump, the huge gender gap in all the polling everywhere. So in the meantime, Bloomberg is showing decent poll numbers in Iowa, a state where he won't be in the caucuses there. He's not on the ballot there. He's not going to be on the ballot in a number of early states, but he will be on Super Tuesday, which is coming up fast. So look, you know, Bloomberg is someone who's been around, has some cred within the party as a major funder of social causes, anti-gun control, anti-gun activism, I should say, and environmental activism. Never underestimate the power of money to move the numbers, and I think that's what we're seeing here.
All right, we'll keep an eye on that one.
Can't wait to see him in the debates, if he ever makes it.
Be interesting, right? Let's bring it back locally, too, here, and talk about the State of the City. Marty Walsh this week gave his State of the City address, and, you know, he's come under a lot of criticism. Do you think he did anything to kind of just, quell that, put his critics in their place?
Yeah, I think he did. And he did it by what his MO all along has been to preempt. Most of the attacks on Walsh come from his left. You know, people who say, well, you're not moving fast enough on housing, on the schools, and so forth. And he justifiably, in my view, took some heat early on in his tenure for getting caught up in projects that didn't really relate to people at the neighborhood level, the Olympic Games, the Indy car race, that kind of thing. Those didn't go well for him. But now he's refocused on the bread and butter. And in this speech, he announced some pretty hefty investments. Life is good when you're a politician presiding over a booming economy and the Treasury is flush with dough. And he's saying we're going to spend more on education on top of new funding from the state. We're going to spend more on enforcement of the transit laws and so forth. We're going to do more on housing. And if people start to realize and see that money turning into tangible benefits over the next year or so, well, when he stands for re-election in 2021, he's going to be awfully hard to beat.
Yeah, I mean, he made some pretty big, pretty bold ideas out there. I mean, the amount of housing that he wants to put in for middle and lower income families, if they start going up, that's going to be a big thing. He also wants a seat on the MBTA board again for the city, saying, hey, we live this every day. We should be there at the table.
Right. I mean, look, he's got to show results. All the money in the world, if it just gets wasted or if it doesn't find its way to the people who most need it, then that will fuel the opposition to Walsh. But right now, the city's budget is in good shape, and that means Marty Walsh is in good shape.
All right. 1 week down, 51 more to go.
Can't
John.
wait for the rest of 2020. Help me now.
He's going to be a very busy guy.
Beam me up, Scotty.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Thanks so much for checking in. We'll see you next week here on What a Week. Have a great day.